Welcome to CPG Vibes. No script, just chat. We talk all things food and beverage and so much more. Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review. If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service or be a guest, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. Now your hosts, me, Alex Bear with Genius Juice, and Wade Yeti. All right, welcome to episode 62 of CPG Vibes. I'm really starting to really like our new name, man. I really am. I know you're muted, but once you're unmuted, you can definitely express how excited you are. How you doing, my man?
Good. I was waiting because Renee was banging around here a little bit, but you were. I'm just calling it what it is. It's funny listening to the intro. It's going to take some getting used to. I dig it, but it's just like, wait a second. Oh yeah, that's us. So I'm digging it. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a really, just honestly, a very long week. I mean, all the weeks are long. This one got even longer. I didn't think that was even possible, but I've been probably pulling 15 to 18-hour days. I've been talking to a lot of brands. I had a marathon Tuesday. So I did a post on LinkedIn saying I would love to help brands on general consulting or, your crowdfunding campaign if you're going to be launching one, since, money is really hard to find. And I got, I think 20 or 30 direct messages. I set up 13 meetings. I was at 12, but I'm like, 13 is my lucky number. So I went to 13 and I met with all these different founders and owners and just phone call after phone call. It was 30-minute phone calls from 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. I had a 1-hour break, which wasn't a break. I had calls come in, and it was awesome just helping all these different founders. And, and I'm also looking to do consulting on the side while running Genius Juice. So I do charge a nominal fee per hour to help brands scale and grow. Not to plug myself, but I am. And so it was fun. It was fun to give back to the community, to have all these calls. And a lot of people are going to be launching their crowdfunding campaigns in coming weeks. So it was fun.
Great. Yeah, it's the consulting thing, I've done a little bit of that myself and continue to. So again, not to plug ourselves, but I think, it's just something that you're able to give back a little bit. You have your perspective and things that you can help with, and I do as well. And this week has been interesting. We saw almost what I would call the heat of I won't say summer, but we hit mid 80s here this week. And today it's 45 degrees and it's rained torrentially the entire day. I took a day off today from work to get some things done at the new house. And it has literally rained from the minute I woke up. I'm guessing it's still raining now. I'm not even sure, but 45 degrees. So pretty much a 40-degree swing in 24 hours. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think all the rain and the storms and the clouds that were in LA for the last month have carried their way all the way out to Greensboro, North Carolina, where Wade is.
Thanks for that gift. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the gift of the gods, Yeah. But at least there'll be a rainbow at the end of the rain, so that's always good. Absolutely. And so a couple of laundry list items to go over. We want to shout you out, and we see some comments that are rolling in. We were here on Good Friday, so Easter weekend. So thank you for those that are joining us, because I know some people took the day off. Some people they're with family or out doing they're doing egg hunts with their kids. All those things are going on today. So we appreciate you joining us. If you'd like to sponsor our show or would like to be a guest, make sure to email us at CPGVibes. That's CPG like consumer packaged good, vibes 100@gmail.com. We're booked out until at this point the summer. But if you would like to sponsor us, there is now a sponsorship program. So we can send you information on that when you email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And then also, goes without saying, Wade, but we still say it, 5 stars. Make sure to give us 5 freaking, not going to say the F word, but frickin' stars We're at 79, and guys, we need to get to 100. I mean, I'm being as insistent as I can. You know, it's an offer you can't refuse, if you know what I mean. Please, please give us 5 stars. Help us get to 100.
Yeah, and just understandably, it doesn't. We're not too proud to say it can be your spouse's account, significant other's account. It can be your child's account. It doesn't matter. Just if you go to CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts and hit that like button, it helps us with the search optimization and all those things. So it helps people find us a little bit easier. It's not monetized by any means. It just really helps us appear more frequently if people are looking for us, and obviously the charts and rankings and things like that. So it's just easier for people to identify us. So it's very easy to do. Like I said, grab your kid's phone, grab your whoever's phone, and just hit it real.
Even if you don't know them, like if you're at a Starbucks and someone puts their phone down to go to the bathroom, you know, when like someone puts their phone down, they forget to turn it off. That means the phone is hot. It's active. Go to their phone, go to Apple Podcasts. If they don't have it installed, install it, steal their Apple ID password so you can log in, download the app. Anyway, this is getting too complicated, but we appreciate it if you can do that and tell your friends and family about it. Like Wade said, the other thing too, you said we're not monetizing, the Apple Podcast, 5 stars. But one thing we are monetizing is we have our brand spanking new business Venmo account, which I don't even think this is going to come up.
I can almost, there it is. There it is. I don't know that if the scan will work there, but it might.
Probably not, but it's CPG Vibes, and you can donate to CPG Vibes. The reason for donation is that we are definitely looking to get more staff on board to really promote our podcast, start getting others to go on LinkedIn. And then also we're using our precious time and resources as well. So we want to keep the show going. We want to support you guys. So anything you can donate to CPG Vibes. We're not a nonprofit, so you cannot write it off. But what you can write about is supporting CPG Vibes and helping us continue running the show and growing the show. So
I was going to say you hit it, but I know, speaking for myself, and I'm going to speak for you too. You didn't ask, but I'm going to. But we've each purchased these fancy dancy microphones and headphones, and we were just talking before we went on the air, that realistically I probably should get a new laptop. And this isn't begging by any means, but it's just all the things that go into putting the show on, right? I mean, it's besides our time, there's actual things that you have to do it. And so, we appreciate anything that comes our way. And, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing because we love it. And, that's about it, right?
And they're already seeing, just from the past, we've had some paid sponsors, and, we have V-Driven, and also some new paid sponsors are coming on board. You can see the results that are happening, right? You see the videos that are starting to turn up on our LinkedIn company page, on our CPG Vibes, which you can go on and follow and like that as well. We have like video recaps of all the guests that we bring on. We have updates. So these are things that are going to continue rolling and being even better as we get more and more funds to grow our show. I mean, the mics are just the start. These are just the start, man. Like we have so much more.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm trying to find the link to that post because honestly, not that we need to plug ourselves, but that the video recaps are pretty spectacular, right? I mean, they're coming across really good. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, here's a link to the last one as far as the recap from last week.
David Greenfeld.
Yep. And we're looking to do that every week. And Vibe Men, right? Vibe Men Assistant is doing those for us, and then working on putting a little bit more thought into how we post things on Apple Podcasts, as far as who our guest was, what we talked about, and kind of talking about topics. And so, as opposed to just talking about episodes, we're talking a little bit more about the detail and the discussion that took place. So lots of good stuff in the pipe.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing to hit on as well. I know we're just continuing we're doing the Mario. I know the Mario Brothers movie is coming out. We're doing the One Up. We keep on going back to this topic. Is the title of the episodes. If you go on Apple Podcast right now, it just says episode 1, 2, 3, 4, no script, just chat. We are updating the titles and the description, which takes time and resources and hiring someone to do that, so that when you go through Apple Podcast or Spotify, you know exactly what that episode is about and how it could help you. So if there's one episode about operations, you're like, operations is boring. Screw that. I don't want to listen to an episode about operations. But there's another episode about fundraising, crowdfunding. You're going to see a description now on every single episode, and that's going to happen the next couple weeks. So that's exciting too. So
definitely big things. Name change, all these bells and whistles we're working on, right?
Exactly. Let's start shouting out people. This is not a bells and whistles. This is an OG feature that we've had since the beginning of what used to be called Friday Vibes, now CPG Vibes. So some comments here. We have we have Kenny Hausman. Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Kenny, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I shouted out my good friend Martin. He is with Seedly, who is our sponsor today. There's almost nothing left in here. I've crushed this entire bag today. But Martin and Seedly, they are our sponsors. And I also want to just shout out V Driven, right? Our long-term sponsor, who brought us our Vibe Min. That's Luke Abbott. We usually forget to mention them in the very beginning. This time, we're drinking our genius juice. We're all over it. So V Driven, Luke.Abbott, ABBOTT at vdriven.com. They do everything from trade spend, deduction management, to helping you grow your sales, to operations and efficiencies and saving you money. And Luke is a ex-CEO of Monterey Provisions that got purchased by Kehi. So he knows how to run a business, and he's the CEO now of V Driven. So make sure to reach out to them.
I was going to say I should delete that. Delete that. I'm deleting it.
Okay.
Let me try it again.
Sure. Yeah, these things, it's live. These things happen. So Rich Moniz, Rich Insights, and also today I brought the tumbler. Thank you so much. Wrong way, my friend. This one is good. This one doesn't leak. Sealed. Great. I carry this around everywhere with me, and so does Wade. We're walking
every day to work. I was going to say every day on the way to work. And I carry that little by the handle, right?
Yep.
And I swing it, and thousands of people see that every day. As I'm walking in downtown Greensboro. And I'm not exaggerating, because there's a lot of traffic. So every day people see the Yeti that Rich sent us. So that's good stuff.
They're like, that's the Yeti that Yenny has.
Exactly.
All right, what else here? Rich, thank you for also pledging to sponsor our show again. We really appreciate that. Just reach out to us, cpgvibes100@gmail. We'll get you set up. Already going to sponsor again. Thank you so much, sir. Sean Berg, the broker extraordinaire, LinkedIn influencer, lion they call them, the LinkedIn something influencer. So Sean Berg, happy Godo Friday. Godo? God Friday? Did he mean? Because of Easter?
I was going to say maybe.
Yeah, he's a little bit ambiguous.
Good.
Sometimes.
I think it's supposed to be good. He
good
didn't
Friday.
have.
That makes sense.
Have autocorrect or spell check.
Dyslexia.
Godo. I thought maybe that's Frodo's brother or something. I don't know.
Godo.
Maybe Sean can help us with that one.
Yep. And then nice update, fellas. That's Kenny. Rich saw the Mario movie. And Sean Burry, that's a typo. All right. So what else? I guess what happened this week? I know there's been a lot. I mean, we got the Masters that's happening. This is no script, just chat. We're going to talk about CPG, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the biggest golf tournament. I like it better than the Open, because the Open's in the UK. Nothing against the UK, but I can't relate to that. I've never been to the UK. I've never been to that golf course, the old course. It's a great course, but I've never been there. But the Augusta National, they have the Masters going on right now. What's amazing is one of the there's an amateur. He won the amateur championship. His name is Sam Bennett, And so he won it last year. And whoever wins the amateur champion, this guy's like 21 years old or 20.
Right.
As soon as he was able to play it, he played it. And he automatically went to the Masters. So this is a guy that from nothing, became basically an amateur slash pro, won the tournament. 5 months later, he's in the Masters. He's playing next to Scotty Scheffler and Tiger and Rory and Justin Thomas, and he's in second place as of a couple hours ago. He's 8 under or 9 under, and there's a really great story, a very compelling story or powerful story about him, where his father passed away in 2021, and his father taught him golf. And the last thing that his father wrote to him, or one of the last things, was something along the lines of like do what you want, like basically do it before it's too late, right? While you have time. And
Right.
it was something shorter than that. And he wrote it on, he wrote it on a piece of paper. And then shortly after, his father passed away. And so Sam decided, I'm going to become a golf pro. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it now. I'm not going to waste time anymore. I'm going to commit to it. He tattooed his father's note on his forearm, the actual font, like what he wrote. So he put it, transposed it on his forearm, and now he is in contention to win the Masters. It's pretty amazing story.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that obviously is going on. We since we talked last week, WrestleMania was this weekend, or past weekend, I should say. The NCAA tournament, San Diego State didn't pull it off. I was really hoping they would, but UConn is the national champion. Lots of good sports stuff for the opening day, opening week for baseball season, all that good stuff. There's just tons going on. They're talking in the chat about the Super Mario movie, which I've played my share of Mario Kart, Mario Party, you name it. I probably played it back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Lots going on. So it's been a fun week.
Yeah. Actually, I was top 5 in the world at Super Mario Kart on SNES. I used to play
how's that calculated?
So I played online. They used to have this thing called X Band. I know we're getting off topic from CPG. I guess it's CPG, Nintendo CPG.
Right.
And, you play X Band, you go on. It was the very first online gaming. And I would go online and I would compete with hundreds or thousands of people all over basically the world. I think it was the country, actually. So not as big deal, but country.
Very cool.
And I was undefeated. And then about 4 years ago, I went to a vintage video game convention where they had a Super Mario Kart on Super Nintendo tournament, and people from all over the country went to that. And I won. Me and my friend, who we used to play for probably half our childhood, we spent more time playing that game than spending time with anyone else, even family. And we got so good that me and him, as adults, right, this is 4 years ago, went to this tournament in California, Pomona, I believe. And we went all the way to the finals, me versus him in Super Mario Kart. Yep. So we beat the entire field.
How many years ago?
Like 4 or 5 years ago. It was 2018, and it was called the Vintage Video Game Convention. And they had all these old, what is it called? Atari and Nintendo, and there was one before Atari. I can't remember the name of it. Or
goodness, Atari's the first one I had. So I'm feeling like there's a documentary about all this. Have you seen the King of Kong Fistful of Quarters?
I have Fistful of Quarters. Saw that 3 times. Love that movie.
I feel like we need to do this about you and your quest to become number one.
Yeah, I mean it's a really big franchise, but unfortunately, the newer ones just were terrible. The ones on like Super Nintendo on N64, and then there's ones on Switch and all these new ones. Nothing ever beat the original Super Mario Kart. It was like the most, like the way you drive, it was very connected, if that makes any sense. Like you turn, it makes the right turn. Like it's very accurate to how you're doing the controller. And we got really good at it. So me and my friend played on the big screen. It was broadcasting to the entire convention, thousands of people. And there was a play-by-play announcer also on the PA.
Really?
So, and then I was ahead 4-0. I had to win 5 races, and then he came back and won 2 on courses he's never beat me at when we played privately. And then I won on Rainbow Road. So it was, I got the
Amazing.
medal somewhere in here. So a couple more shout outs, just want to mention here. Then we can get into, I think, Wade, are you feeling like, should we talk about CPG today? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it is a holiday weekend. We can just kind of go all over the place, but
Yeah.
we probably should,
Yeah,
just
maybe.
to be true to ourselves. But we've been known to deviate every once in a while.
Yeah. Every other minute. We do that. We are, I'm much more random. Wade's more on the tracks than I am, but, let's see, what else? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, is the movie The Wizard starring Fred Savage based on Alex. That was a great movie from the 80s where a kid autistic, I think like the time before he was even really termed or well known, he was autistic, I believe.
Really?
You've seen the movie, right?
The-
The Wizard.
with Fred Savage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Is that like a remake of
Classic.
something, or
Nope. It's
I mean,
not
I know Fred Savage from
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I don't think
So
I have.
this is a movie about a kid that is super good at video games, but he's like um almost he's like autistic, I feel like in the movie. Like he has trouble talking with people, but he's incredibly bright and is really good at video games.
Hmm.
And so they Fred Savage and Fred's girlfriend, I believe, in the movie, they take the kid to a national video game competition to win like a bunch of money. And then in at I don't I'll say one thing. I don't want to ruin too much of it, but when they bring him there, this is set like in the 80s
Okay.
and they're playing all these different video games, and then for the finals they unveiled a brand new video game that no one has ever seen, and they had all these experts, these video game experts, had to play this video game for the first time.
Hmm.
And I remember watching it and I'm just like, holy shit, Super Mario 3. It was before Super Mario 3 even came out, which was to me the greatest game of all time. They put it into the movie as the mystery video game that everyone played to win the whole entire thing.
That's cool.
But it's a commercial, and Rich said it's 90-minute Nintendo commercial for Super Mario 3, the Power Glove, but it's a classic, Wade. So
I might have to check it out.
It's nostalgic and it'll bring you back. The other one that's really good that I just saw, again, we're just going to keep on going. We're going to avoid anything CPG related. That's our goal on this episode. Is it's like we're having a conversation.
You watch the viewer count go down to nothing, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're doing it for you guys, but we also got to do it for ourselves. We got to have fun while doing it. But the movie, The Internship, have you seen that with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson?
Yes, I have seen that one.
It's a commercial for Google the entire time. It's they're interns at Google. It's really good.
Right.
So a couple more shout outs. We have Annie Wu, which we saw at our happy hour, our CPG Vibes, cool. Friday Vibes happy hour. Monica Watris, I'm going to message you. Great to see you, Annie. And then where's Gavin? Where the hell is Gavin? Gavin Conkle.
I talked to Gavin. It was probably last weekend.
Yeah. I talked to him
He's
on
probably
Monday.
doing all sorts of good things on Good Friday, Alex.
Very good things, I'm sure.
Gavin's doing. Yep.
Yeah. Gavin, good Gavin. That's his nickname, right? So I think what else? I mean, the topic this week has been really the crowdfunding side. I might as well go into that on this. Let's start, 25 minutes in talking about CPG.
Yeah.
If you're, looking to do crowdfunding, just some kind of general tidbits about it is that it's a great way to market your brand. It's a great way to get investors that become customers. The only downside to doing crowdfunding is you're putting your information publicly, your sales, your margins, your trajectory, your projections. So it's just something to be careful of, that if you are if you don't want to be releasing company proprietary information, you may want to think twice about crowdfunding. But there are ways to not release everything. You don't have to tell people every single detail about your company, but It's a great option. I mean, my friend over at Dope, I mean, I posted earlier this week, but have you seen her campaign? How it's on fire.
I
Kelsey
don't,
Morera with
I don't
Dope.
think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, she has a cookie dough. I don't know if you've tried it yet. It's like a cookie dough product, yeah, edible cookie dough, and a little. And she's going to be a sponsor on our show.
Nice.
And so edible cookie dough and a little pint, and then she has edible cookie dough bites. She launched her crowdfunding campaign, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. She's already when I last checked, she was at $210,000 already.
Wow. And does she have a goal?
Her goal is to do, I believe, up to the 1.07 million. I believe. I
Holy
mean,
smokes. So I know some of the non-business crowdsourcing, crowdfunding things. If you don't reach your goal, you don't get the money. Is that the way this works as well?
yeah. Just to kind of go through the 101, you need to hit. I believe with Republic, it's 25,000. With WeFunder, when I last checked, because I'm consulting on this now, plug is 50,000. So
But
you have to hit
is this regardless of what your goal is? So
exactly.
you set your goal in advance. So let's just say, for discussion's sake, your goal is 50 grand, but the first one you mentioned, I didn't catch the Republic. If you hit 25, you would get 25. You don't have to hit the 50 to get the 25.
Exactly. So
And
whatever your go ahead. Yep.
I was going to say, and then the other one, is it the same with the other one? Like, because I know the other one, if you set I can't, whether it's GoFundMe or whoever, if you set a goal at 10 and you raise 6, you don't get anything.
Yeah, I think for Kickstarter, it's been a long time since I raised on there. You have to hit your goal, I believe.
Okay. I knew there was
Somebody
one
told
that was
me,
like that.
but yeah, because it's not equity based. It's just you hit your goal, and the reason behind that is, let's say you need $50,000 to launch your product. That's what Kickstarter's for. It kickstarts your company. You need $50,000 to purchase the raw materials, to pay the co-man, to run your product, to do the marketing or whatever packaging. So if you don't hit your goal, you're not able to launch your brand. So that's why with Kickstarter and some of these other ones, GoFundMe, you need to hit not the nonprofit GoFundMe's, but the for-profit companies. You need to hit the goal. With crowdfunding on Republic or WeFunder or Start Engine, you actually get equity in the company when you invest, or you get a note. It's like an official SEC
Uh,
regulated round, right? It's an official investment round online. And so you don't have to hit the goal as a company, but you have to hit 25 or 50,000 to be able to take the money out once you raise that. So you can do a million, you can have a goal of a million, you can do 50,000, you can take the 50,000 out. But Kelsey, let's just talk about Kelsey, because I talked with her the other day. I mean, she's a rock star. She started online D2C. She was on Shark Tank. She actually started, let me take that back, with a storefront that she opened. And then she did on Shark Tank, she promoted her storefront mostly and her product. And then she closed the storefront around COVID. And then she just decided to do D2C all online. She did millions in revenue online, I believe over 2.5 or 3 million. And then last year she launched into retail. She launched into Kroger, Target, Walmart, and Costco. So she went from no presence in stores to the biggest companies basically in the US, the biggest retailers. And so she's also, what's really amazing about her is that she's also being careful. That's the thing that I wanted to mention, is she's like looking at her margin. She's looking at how much she's spending. She's making sure that she's not in the red. She's aiming to be profitable quickly. And so she also has a really good business sense and acumen. And, I put in some money, not a ton, but I put in some money to support her campaign. And I'll put the link here. I'm doing this for free, basically. She's not paying us because I believe in her and I think she's great, but it's just wefunder.com/dope. And that's dope, like DOUGHP, like dough that you eat, and then the P at the end. So
that's interesting stuff. So, and I've got to keep something on my phone here, so because I want to bring this up as well. But, so are they just facilitating the money? Like, once the money exchanges hands, are they out of the picture? Then it's up to you as the recipient to take care of the stock and the, all those things that are due to the investors, or do they stay involved after the money's raised?
Yeah, so they're essentially just a liaison, Republic, WeFunder, or Start Engine between the brand and the investors, essentially.
Hmm.
So once the campaign is over, then the company, even though they hold the investment through Republic or WeFunder, like it's a note issued or equity issued, for all communications, you can do that directly with the investors or through the forum on your campaign page. But
Okay.
essentially, it's between the company and the investor. And then when the note converts to equity, which typically happens when there's a large raise, that's equity in the company, right? So everything is basically between the company and the investors.
Gotcha.
The cool thing about raising also is that you can take the money out as you go. That's another thing I'm telling brands, is that if you raise 100,000, you can take out some of that right away. If you get to 250,000, you can take out more. You get to 500, you take out more. So as you're raising on the platform, if it's a longer campaign, you can continually take money out that you need for cash flow to run your business. So it's pretty cool. It used to be kind of almost frowned upon 4 or 5 years ago as a kind of a desperation move by brands, like, oh, they can't raise anywhere else, so now they're raising online. And I was kind of seen in a negative light when I started our campaign. Now it's become everyday commonplace. Like it's become a valid way to raise capital instead of raising it from a VC. And that's what I love about it, is you don't have to go just one direction. Like before, right? And you've been in this business a while, you could only raise from, like, investors, VCs, serious money, right, in the millions. Now you have the capability to raise up to $5 million online, and you can get all these investors, people that will buy your product. And then on your cap table, it's only one line item. So that's also nice. You don't, if you get 2,000 investors, like we got 2,000 on a Republic,
Right.
it's one line item under Republic, not 2,000 line
2000.
items. So
Nice.
it's pretty ideal, and the government has become really friendly to deregulating it and letting a lot of companies go on there. And in these times, it's important. People, companies need cash.
Yeah. Well, just since you brought up the cookie dough, I'm going
Hmm.
to slightly segue um, into this. You've talked about obviously your experience on Shark Tank, and I know in Canada they have, excuse me, Dragon's Den, and things like that. So someone that I connected with when I was in California, Sydney Webb, who is the founder of Toto. I don't know if you're familiar with that brand or not, but when I talked to Sydney back in my Jimbo's days, she was doing a refrigerated cookie dough with
Hmm.
adaptogens, and I think she's since pivoted to made cookies. They're actually form cookies, shelf stable, blah blah blah. She posted today that she has been chosen to compete in a new show called Food Stars, which is Gordon Ramsay is behind it, and so evidently you're competing for an investment from Gordon of $250,000,
Hmm.
and so she's going to be on there in right. I think it's right around Memorial Day, but she posted that today. But I hadn't heard about this show. I don't know. Is that news to you, or do you know the brand? Because the brand it's a cool story. Sydney's story is really cool. She had some health issues, and I think if you look at her website, her background is, I think, she had Crohn's disease, and so she got really interested in health and diets and things like that. And so yeah, she's doing these superfoods cookies with adaptogens, and if you look at her ingredients, like I said, they're shelf stable now, so they're a little different than what I saw. But she does a lot with mushrooms, turkey tail, reishi. She's using coconut sugar, et cetera, et cetera. So, are you familiar with the brand, or
I've never tried it. I've
okay?
seen it. I've seen it on a store shelf. I've seen it at Lazy Acres, and now that I know about it, I'm going to go out and buy it because I love cookies, especially healthier cookies, plant-based. And the fact that they have adaptogens, I'm all about, the mental cognitive component of all the benefits. And but I have seen her on LinkedIn extensively. We are working on getting her on the show as well. There's been a
Okay.
conversation to
Okay.
schedule her in later this year because she's amazing and has such a great story. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
Good stuff. So, what about the show that this Gordon Ramsay thing? Because I have to admit, going back to my restaurant days
Mhm.
and just in general, Gordon. Whether you talk about Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares,
So many
you.
shows.
I was going to say you name it. We just Renee and I have been watching Next Level Chef. So
Mhm.
he's on there with two other chefs. I don't know. I'm just a kind of just a fanboy of Gordon. He just cracks me up. But have you heard of this show? I mean, I didn't. I saw her post, and I haven't. So is it exclusive to CPG brands, or I'm trying to type it in as I'm talking. That's why I'm stuttering. But are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I have heard of the show. We were not to violate any NDAs, but we were
Okay.
approached
Okay.
at one point. So for this season, we're not on the season. If we were, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. But yes, I believe that it's more centered around CPG brands,
Okay.
owners, founders that are building their brand, and then Gordon evaluates them and then invests in the winner. So that's my understanding. Like what you said is what I know about it. And then so the season just came out. You said, or is it?
So I'm scanning through here, so and seeing some of the brands. I'm not. I see there's some of these I'm not even familiar with. Tony B's steak chips. Of course, I already mentioned Sydney. Indulgent essential spices. Someone from North Carolina actually. Bandita. Luther Bob's.
Don't know any of those. All I
Fat
know is
milk.
Toto's. Fat
Yeah.
milk. No.
Yeah, there's I mean, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of different things going on here. So it's going to be fun to check that out.
Yeah, food stars, Gordon Ramsay, make sure to Google it. I just wanted to reset the room here. So we have episode 62 of CPG Vibes, no script, just chat. Make sure if you want to be a sponsor or a guest, there is now a sponsorship program. There's a cost to it, so we can run our show and grow our show. Make sure to email CPG Vibes, that's plural, 100, the number 100 at gmail.com. And again, please make sure to give us 5 stars, and you can go to Apple Podcasts for that. And then our week sponsor is Seedly, and you're going to win. Well, you could win, I should say, not you're gonna. You could. Just make sure to pay attention to this episode. There's going to be a trivia question based on something we talked about. Is it going to be about the Wizard? Is it going to be about Mario 3? Is it going to be about Toto's? We have no idea. We haven't even thought of the question yet, but we will. And if you get the answer right, you will win Seedly, a case of their delicious seed bark, which is fantastic. We'll talk more about that. Good stuff. So I wanted to run through some comments, Wade, here because there's some
Yeah.
new ones that came in. There's one that was a little bit further back, which is I just got to say, have you started breaking into the evolved chocolate?
I have. I have.
I mean,
Good stuff. Yeah.
man, it is,
It's
you
Keenan,
know,
right?
yeah, Keenan Smith.
Formerly of Good Wolf.
Yep. And so he had a kombucha brand, which he raised money for on
Water
Micro
kefir, right?
Ventures, or water kefir.
Yep.
Yes. Big distinction there.
Yes.
And big distinction, kombucha, water kefir. Don't want to mix those. It's like the Ghostbusters when you cross the things, the
Well,
whole.
just as especially for someone not in Southern California,
Yep.
kombucha, just the word scares people, right? If they're not familiar with what kombucha is, right? So
Mhm.
water kefir might be a little bit more digestible mentally
Pun
as
intended.
opposed. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Well done. Well done, Wade. Yeah, so I know there's like key for like the thicker milks. That's what I'm used. That's what I've known. But this guy, yeah, he created Good Wolf. He gave it a good run. I think they did eventually, I believe, close their doors. You correct me if I'm wrong, but you parlayed that into a really great opportunity at Evolved, Keenan. And I got to say, thank you so much for the box. If you ever want to send another box, I will be eternally. I just got to ask because it's so damn good, and I will eat it during these episodes, like free of charge. But I don't usually do that. But they're really good. They got almond butter cups. They're all keto friendly. They're all low sugar. They taste amazing. Simple ingredients. I mean, Wade and I talked about it. I think a couple like last episode or a
Last week,
couple
yep.
episodes last week. And then they have these bars, but my favorite one is the white chocolate bars and cups because it's made out of cashews, and they just taste so decadent and delicious and low sugar, and they're amazing. So that's Evolved Chocolate. Martin Stoops watched last week's episode with DG last night. Great show. Happy Good Friday to everyone, and Godo to Sean. And because he misspelled it. And also, it's interesting on crowdfunding, Canadians in Ontario are not allowed to invest.
Now, is that
Weird.
specific to certain ones, like certain like what have you, like
companies?
Yeah, well, like Kickstarter. Is it just across the board, or is it certain websites?
I've heard across the board that people that live in Ontario just can't do crowdfunding for equity or notes. Like I think for Kickstarter, it's okay, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rich. But I remember when I launched Republic and WeFunder, when Genius raised 1.5 million between the two, they did not allow people from Ontario to invest. I remember Derek Brawley wanted to invest, and I believe he's in Ontario, and he was not able to. So anyway, I it's weird. I don't know the regulations behind it, Rich. If you have any insights, Rich, on that.
Speaking of puns, right?
Yep, let us know. Kenny Hausman, Toto cookies are amazing. This is what we do on the show. We shout you out. You do comments. As long as your comments are somewhat, as long as the comments make more sense than me, because I don't make any sense, then we will read your comments. Let's see here. Doing it on Friday is always interesting because the end of the week, it's not only the end, it's not only on Friday, but it's the end of the day on Friday.
Right.
So we're like running on fumes, but we bring it, right? We bring it, Wade.
We try.
Yeah. So David Delcourt of Grown As Mac with the he has the yellow jumpsuit. I was gonna say orange jumpsuit. The yellow jumpsuit.
Yellow.
Yeah, not orange. This guy is
David?
definitely, yeah. So this is him talking. David Delcourt. I'm interested in the Kickstarter to Republic stack, starting with product pre-sale, crowdfunding, and leveraging to investment crowdfunding. Do you think about that? Let's talk more, David. Just shoot me a DM or email, and we can set up. I'm doing another session of crowdfunding consulting on Wednesday of next week. That's Wednesday, April 13th. So if you'd like to get a call with me, I have a few slots left.
12th, right?
Was that the 12th? 14? Yeah. Today's April 7th, right? So April 14th minus 2.
You said Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Yeah, the 12th. You're right.
I'm trying to help you out, brother.
Thank you. Woo. So, yeah, make sure to reach out to me if you would like to have a crowdfunding consultation session, and I can help you there. What else? Some other Rich is here. And then we have eatingevolved.com. That's from Keenan Smith if you like to buy some chocolates. And Rich Monez, Kickstarter is all good. No equity. Kickstarter is good, but you're never going to raise. I mean, the most I've ever seen raised on there is maybe, at least from brands that I know, CPG, maybe 125,000. If you want to go for a much larger raise, my preference is WeFunder. I know a lot of people WeFunder. WeFunder's done great things. Dope is on WeFunder, but Republic is also very good too. So either one. Start Engine, not as familiar with them, and they seem to be really heavily about Mr. Wonderful and about raising for Start Engine. Like they have their own fund, which is center right when you go to the website. So that's why I'm not a big fan of Start Engine, but to each his own. All right. So, Wade, how are things going? Do you want to talk about anything else in general in CPG?
I'm trying to think. Probably should. I know we're nearing the end of the show, so there's we have Dylan from
Chubby Snacks?
Chubby Snacks. I had to think about it for a second. I was going to try and say his last name, but I'm not. Dylan C. I'm not going to even attempt to say his last.
DC.
DG, right? We're going backwards in the alphabet, but no, I have
then we have DT. We have Don Tolk after that.
I was going to say I have a few things that we probably should talk about, but I will probably save them for not with DC, but the week after. This is kind of like a foreshadowing, right? As far as just talking about category reviews, I think we should have a in-depth discussion about category reviews, process, best practices, and just kind of go through that whole thing because, certainly, Alex, you over the years have submitted to countless organizations and I just want to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit and kind of dive into that a little bit. I don't think now's the time because we're short on time, but if we can kind of put that foreshadowing out there, maybe we can talk about that on the episode, not next week with Dylan, but the week after that. I mean, maybe we'll get into it with Dylan. We'll see what we get into there. But just if you're listening now or if you're tuning in, maybe after the fact, think about that a little bit and either bring questions, comments, etc. And maybe we'll dive into that in 2 weeks because I've got just a little bit of feedback, some things that have come across my desk and just kind of general, like I said, general best practices, questions, things like that. I'd like to talk a little bit about. So
cool. Is one of those best practices not sending samples on Friday afternoon?
that would be on the list. That would be on the list. Yeah. So I think it would be good to get into that a little bit. So does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, this is what the show is all about. Is I provide insight from the brand's perspective.
Insights.
Rich insights.
Rich insights. You provide robust insights. Robust. Maybe we can trademark that, Alex. Robust
insights. So that's what we do here on this show is that I'm from the brand side because I run the company Genius Juice. Wade is an experienced, whether it's center store or a buyer, a corporate buyer, bringing in new items or overseeing category managers bringing in new items. So he's seeing it from that side of the table. I'm seeing it from the brand side of the table. And then we meet here on CPG Vibes to vibe together to provide great advice, insights, robust feedback,
robust insights
on how to navigate through a lot of these CPG related areas. So I would love to talk about it with you, brother, for sure.
Cool. Let's plan on that.
Cool.
Maybe we'll even start promoting that in 2 weeks. That's what we're going to talk about. What do you think?
Yeah, that's Judgment Day. So judgment, the pun intended, right? Because you judge the goods, the items, and then you make decisions. So it's going to be the we're going to do the Judgment Day, which is going to be.
It's almost like a cliffhanger, like Who Shot JR, and right up that alley, right?
Right up that alley. You just dated yourself big time on that one.
Well, so, I can't think of any significant cliffhangers that when you say that was like it resonated with people. Like obviously there's been cliffhangers with all the shows that are on, whether you talk about Yellowstone or what have you, but there's not that's like 3 words, right? You shot JR, right?
Yep.
Give me, I love Yellowstone. I think it's one of the best shows on TV, but give me in 3 words the cliffhanger that we're waiting on for the season to kick back in. Can you do it?
I can only think of the movie. I've never seen Dallas, so that's I'm generation after. The only one I can think of is Who Did It, like Clue, right? That's the only other one, but it's not a cliffhanger because you find out in the movie. Right.
But
And
you've heard over the years who shot JR, though,
oh,
right?
big time.
Well,
And
but
big
that's my
time.
point. Is like
We
think
still
about
know
it
it. Our
from a
generation.
marketing standpoint. Like,
Yeah.
boom, there it is, right? I mean, like in 3 words,
Who
it
shot
resonates, and
JR?
you've never watched the show.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it does cross generations. I remember The Simpsons did one, Who Shot Mr. Burns?
There you go.
Yeah, that was more my generation. But and then it was funny. There was sports betting in Vegas on who shot Mr. Burns. So,
Right.
but nothing equals who shot JR. Yep. And Aaron, did he say it before me or did I say it? I can't
No,
remember.
he said it. It was maybe simultaneous. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't look at your comment, but I remember, and yeah, it was. I think everyone thought Smithers obviously did it. It wasn't him. I won't reveal who it was. You can watch it yourself.
Go back and watch it. You know what we've been watching? Talk about dating ourselves. We have been watching. This is going to open up a rabbit hole. We have been watching All in the Family episodes.
Oh wow! Well,
yeah.
it's a classic. Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker.
It's Hall of Fame classic. So and obviously you're significantly, we won't get into details, younger than I am. Do you remember? Have you ever watched All in the Family?
I have. Yeah, I watched. Well, the intro rings true to me because Family Guy does a takeoff of the intro where they're playing on the piano. Oh, those were the days, like that part. So I did watch it. I know he has his chair.
Yep.
I know that there's a guy named Meathead. He calls Meathead.
His son, who's a famous, went on to have a spectacular career. Do you know when that show started?
1968, 69.
Ooh, I thought you were going to come closer. 71.
Ah, okay.
But regardless, it's and there were, I think, 5 different spinoffs of that show.
Wow.
Which we don't have to go into details of that, but yeah, Rob Reiner's Meathead, who you talked about, and he became a filmmaker, and he was a director of Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, on and on. Princess Bride, I think he was involved in that. Yeah, he's got a pretty spectacular career after being berated by Archie Bunker for years. He went on. He recovered. He didn't just hide in shame. So
definitely, yeah, he paid his dues with Archie Bunker, and look where he is. Look where he is. So pretty amazing. Well, let's go to our next segment here, which is called Stuff We Love. And I have things. I got this locked and loaded and ready. Right, I'm so excited.
All right, let me go. I was going to say, because you're going to surpass me. You have our little. There it is.
Oh.
I've got to reposition mine because it's not going to show the product off the way we want to. So let's try it this way. There we go.
What is that? It sounds like a loud. Oh, yep. Nature's Wild Berry, baby. Hank Watt.
There it is.
Such a fancy casing.
Well, and so what's interesting is, so I have this plastic case, right? And I had 3 packs in it. And the outer packs were showing, so I had to reposition so you could actually see the product. So, so this is great stuff, right? You just take it out. Yeah, you know about it, Alex. You've had it.
Yep, lemons become oranges. Pretty cool.
Yes, it makes sour taste sweeter than sugar in 30 seconds. So good stuff. And I talked to talk is a relative word. A little bit of texting back and forth, messaging on LinkedIn with Hank this week a little bit. He's working on a proposal, and we shared some feedback back and forth. And good guy, interesting, unique product. I mean, how many things like this are out there?
I would say 0. I mean, this is as rare as who shot JR. I mean, that's only one thing, right? There's only one thing. So Nature's Wild Berry is it.
Yeah. So that's what I've got. I wanted to devote my 60 seconds to Hank and Nature's Wild Berry because he deserves it. And like I said, unique product for sure.
Cool. Yep. Make sure to check it out.
So, and I knew you were gonna just go off the rails with this. So what do you got?
Always off the rails. So already mentioned our sponsor Seedly. We're going to talk about his product more, but I just love it. I had a bag of it this morning for breakfast.
A
Yes, you can have
bag, a bag for breakfast.
a bag for breakfast. But these are, I went to their kitchen where they actually, I would call it more than a kitchen, with their manufacturing facility, where they make this product. This is Nowhere Bakery, and I just want to make sure I was holding it right side up. These are amazing. They have to be refrigerated, so they're really high quality, delicious, decadent. I have the brownie, and I have the cookie dough bar. They also have a new marble cake coming out. They have a chocolate chip cookie. They have the blondie, bar. These are just so like soft and decadent and delicious. They're
And what's the brand again?
It's called Nowhere Bakery. And their tagline is, "You can't find this anywhere else. There's nowhere that this is available." And the co-founders, their husband-wife duo, Maurizio and Sapira, and they're actually pregnant. So congratulations! They announced it on their Instagram. The baby's almost here, so it's amazing. She's still working hard, even though she's 7-8 months pregnant at this point. And I met the co-founders yesterday. Went to their plants. I bought a bunch of bars wholesale. So they are growing rapidly in Southern California. They're going deep into Southern California. They can be found in coffee shops. They can be found in some natural stores. They're working to get into Whole Foods and other larger natural chains that are in SoCal and beyond. But it's just an amazing product, and I can't say enough about it. It's dairy-free, no refined sugar, handmade, no gluten. I can attest it's handmade because I went there. Plant-based, paleo, almond butter, organic maple syrup, unrefined coconut oil, coconut flour, organic chocolate chips, and vanilla extract. That's it.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to send you some because it's that damn good, and I feel bad for you that you can't get it. That's how good this product is.
You know what? I've been looking, and I can't get it nowhere.
Nowhere. You got to have the New York, the mafia. Right. Nowhere. It's nowhere. So that's bada boo. That's a lot of puns on this episode.
Exactly.
All right, so that's stuff we love, and you know what time it is. It's that time to go into Friday freebies.
Friday freebies.
Okay. All right. So I'll do the honors to talk about our longer term sponsor, which is V Driven. So V Driven, just to talk about them, I'm going to paraphrase it. They're a CPG partner for emerging purpose-driven brands. I'm not even paraphrasing. I'm reading it as by heart, or just by word by word. So they fuel growth and innovation. They provide strategies and support every phase of the retail journey, from leadership coaching, brand management. They do deduction management, accounting, sales strategy, day-to-day tactical support. So they're like soup to nuts, which I just found out where that phrase came from. There was a restaurant that served soup as an appetizer and nuts for dessert. So that's why it's soup to nuts. That's where that came from. As a restaurateur, I'm sure you knew that already. So the previous restaurateur, that's Wade. So so anyway, they're really good at just anything from starting your business, from ideation to formulation, to getting it on the market, to doing marketing, packaging strategy. And you got Luke Abbott as a CEO, luke.abbott@vdriven.com. And there it is being displayed by my great co-host Wade. And Luke knows how to run a business. Make sure to reach out to him, and he can help you scale your CPG brand. Luke.Abbott, ABBOTT, at VDriven, V in velocity, VDriven.com.
On. So that means I get to talk about the stuff you've been crushing, right? For breakfast and what have you.
And dinner.
So,
and
right,
dessert.
Dinner. Right. So we're talking about Seedly, and courtesy of Mateen, right?
Yep.
So
Mateen P, because it's his last name's a little hard to pronounce.
Got it. So Seedly leverages the power of hemp and other whole seeds to create delicious and nutritious snacks. Seedly's chocolate seed bark is crunchy and creamy, while packing 500 milligrams of omega-3 and 5 grams of protein per serving. They're confident you will fall in love with their immaculately crafted snacks after just one bite. So they're going to give one case, and I think Alex, I'm looking at a different screen. It's probably showing it of chocolate seed bark, roughly $60-$70 value. And as Alex can attest, it's just great stuff.
It is amazing. And I can actually show what I'm going to go to the bottom of the bag here just to show what this looks like.
And just in all transparency, Renee's a fan of that too. I know she's been munching on it as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see. Actually, can't see anything at this point, but it's basically chocolate with seeds in it, and there's no nuts. So for those that have nut allergies, don't have to worry about it. And it tastes really. It's like Bark Thins and Hugh had a baby. That's the way I would describe it.
Nice, and throw in a little Manitoba Harvest, right?
Exactly, the hemp seeds.
Yep.
All right, so question. I have not written down a question, but which is ironic because there's so much to work with from this episode. What could the question be? Do you have one locked and loaded, Wade?
I don't have one locked and loaded. I'm trying to think. My goodness. Yeah, we did cover a lot, especially going back.
Okay, I got one.
All right. I knew you
got one.
I knew you'd come through.
What's the name of the golfer that I talked about? That one's hard because I said it really fast.
I'm not winning this week.
Nope. No seed leaf for Wade. What's the name of the golfer? There was a story. He's I'll keep doing clues. He was the amateur. He's playing in the Masters. I mean, you can probably just Google it at this point, and you'll win a $60 to $70 value of seedly seed bark. Ingredients. Let me know if someone answers this.
Yeah, and someone has to answer this because I feel like Alex might try and answer his own question.
Yeah,
because he likes this stuff so much.
Yeah, like is an understatement. Okay, it's close enough. He misspelled it, but I think it's correct. Yeah, Rich Moniz. He has the insight to answer it. Rich insights.
Insightful answer, Rich.
Yeah. So, and that was the first one on here. He just nailed it. Like,
I was gonna say, and there's no competition here. So, did we point out your hat, by the way? Because isn't that Rich's hat?
Yep. Rich insights. There it is. I wear this on my sales day.
I feel like we need to send a bill to Rich because he pretty much got plugged this whole episode.
Exactly. I mean, that's a lot of tumblers there.
Right.
I think that's will work for tumblers. So if you have any more you want to send our way, I need one for every day of the week, right? So and
different colors, yeah, exactly, yeah. So you can match them up with your shirt colors and just your shoes, your whatever, right?
Accessorize,
yes.
Yeah. So make sure to email cpgvibes100@gmail. There we go. Now the answers are coming in. Yeah, cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And I'm excited to see if Sam Bennett actually, if he wins the match. I mean, that would be, I think, the first time in a long time, if ever, that an amateur wins the Masters.
And I know we're out of time and it's holiday weekend, but we really didn't go down the whole live versus PGA and all that stuff, like how that whole thing is playing out. And I haven't, excuse me, I haven't paid attention to see if any of those, where those guys are in the rankings or any of them near the top.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka, who struggled with his career in the last 3-4 years. He was on the Netflix Full Swing documentary. He hasn't won a major for many, many years. He is number one when I last checked in the Masters after day 2. Yep.
Wow.
And he's a great player, just, mentally just wasn't able to get his game together for a few years. And I think Tiger, I got to check to see if Tiger made the cut, but he was at a +2 or +3 when I last checked. Tiger just, it doesn't even matter if he wins or not. It's just about watching him. People just love watching the guy.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So again, next week, just and it's funny, Sydney Webb got back to me from Toto that she's going to be on our show. She messaged me back. So
I was going to say, I should have tagged her here to make sure. Maybe just when you reply to her, tell her to check out this show.
For sure. I already did. I said, we're talking about you right now. So make sure to tune in, click my name and it's live. So we have our episode next week. We're going to have Dylan Ceglio. I've learned that CE in Italian is Che, so Ceglio, I think. And that's episode 63 on April 14th. And he's also going to be the sponsor of the show as well. So make sure to check that at Chubby Snacks. And again, 5 stars, Apple Podcast. We've got 5 on it. If you'd like to sponsor the show or be a guest, cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And you can't find a show like this nowhere, only right here.
Nowhere.
All right, Wade. Well, love you, buddy. Have a wonderful weekend. Everyone, take good care. We'll see you next time, same place, Friday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern. Take care. Have a good Easter, everyone.